The Sports Ball Stuff podcast is brought to you by The Goddamn Sauce. Go to thegdsauce.com for details to order all the sauces to replace your ordinary condiments. Pulpery Media presents Sports Ball Stuff with your hosts, Brock and Ben. This is where we discuss the major sports stories that intrigue us and the little stories that enrage us.
The United States men's national team is the worst football program in the history, to some people in the history of the world. Yes, I, on the other hand, am going to tell him why he's full of fucking shit.
Which you love doing.
I fucking hate that man. So, a couple of things.
He is a ginger.
I wish he'd catch on fire out in the sun. A couple of things, right? New manager, obviously. Yeah. This wasn't the A-team by any means. When you had Josh Sargent running out there, come on now.
Yeah.
It's not...
He used to be so promising.
Pulisic does not make the team. Him alone doesn't make the team good.
I get you. Yeah.
Sorry. Look, he's got his brother with him.
Yeah.
And Poch, if you've looked at any of the lineups for these past 4 matches now with him, maybe 5, you're not going to see too many repeat players starting game after game. And
sometimes he has the B team, sometimes he has the C team. So,
and that is on purpose. And his comment after the game, when they asked, he was like, "I don't know why the negative response is. You have to build up to where you're playing your paraphrasing here to where you're playing your best come the World Cup."
Yeah,
I am basically reviewing players.
Well, and
I'm doing it, yes, on the Nations League, but come on,
But you also, and again, I don't at all. Poch is not to blame at all here.
Other than Matt Turner.
Well, again, that's
Turner hasn't played in a while.
I know, but that's a weak spot.
Correct.
In the U.S.
That's why. Remember, we had a conversation about that last time. We talked about the.
But yeah, to not get too long-winded about it is
no, that's why we're here.
Yeah, but we're trying to tighten it up. But in this case is, first off, think of the shit show that Poch walked into.
Correct.
We don't know what the whole state of the U.S. male soccer federation is.
So when you have managers, Jesse Marsch, turning you down, going to Canada, and then turning around and beating you and doing better in the World Cup. And did they go further in the Gold Cup last year, or was that the Gold Cup. Yeah, Gold Cup, yeah. Because that's coming up this summer.
Oh, no, whatever that...
it's the CONCACAF with Argentina and Brazil.
Right,
yeah,
yeah.
Whatever that's called. It wasn't the Gold Cup.
It's the Super Cup or whatever,
Canada, at any rate, Canada...
It's the Cup, yeah.
Canada has consistently, in the last 3 tournaments, Nations League included, if you want to call it a tournament, I guess it is, money grab, Canada has finished ahead of us.
Yes.
Okay. So that just had a good manager turn us down.
Was it?
You had to rehire the most toxic cocksucker on the planet, Greg Berhalter, and then in the meantime you had an interim manager.
Right, who did the best that he could, but it's like...
Okay, and we talk about this all the time, that you get only so much time with these teams, and when you're cycling through managers like that, and your players are calling out your toxic, fucking stupid, bald piece of shit manager, it is a recipe for disaster.
Well, and real quickly before moving on, again, him being an American, him being a manager of one of our favorite teams.
Correct.
I love it that Jesse Marsch got straight red carded.
Straight.
And then was it 3 minutes later they score? Canada scores.
Okay, so that's a
I heard the reports of
red card. What did he say?
Where he was arguing about like something should have been a penalty.
Okay.
And like the ref just wasn't having it. I guess he walked out onto the pitch.
Okay, that's an automatic yellow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then was arguing and probably called like the ref a cocksucker or whatever.
I hope he did.
But
I hope he called him a thunder cunt.
The report was like after the game, just because he was red carded, he can't do post game interviews. But they said when he walked back into the locker room, he was just like beaming.
Of course he was.
And he's like, that's what we fucking
We know because we watched him for 8, 10, 12 months, however long he was at Leeds. And that's who he is.
Oh, yeah, he gets jazzed.
Perfect.
So, yeah.
That's, you know what? That's, the United States probably could have done good under him.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Back to Poch. He's playing the long game.
Oh, yeah.
Which is what we have been saying. Like, does he really need to see Weston McKennie or Timothy Way out there, or
Pulisic,
Sergio Dest or Pulisic?
No.
He doesn't need to see those guys out there.
No.
He knows what he's getting.
Yeah.
Right? He's going to need kids.
And he also knows we have an automatic bid.
Right.
Right. So it's
so
like, okay,
none of this fucking matters.
we can give up a couple of cups. It's not that big of a deal.
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Like, this whole, like, they're lethargic. They don't care. Blah. Like...
Well, again, that's not Poch. And I will say this, is that...
No, that's Alexi Lawless telling team that's...
Well, we all know he's full of shit. And I think the biggest thing coming away with this, and I do agree with it, and I think we saw it in the last World Cup. We've seen it before, which is... And I'm trying to remember who was pointing it out. But they were like, we play Mexico, the team shows up. But we play these other teams, and it's... quite frankly, disrespectful.
Well, Panama. We haven't beaten Panama in 4 matches.
Don't fucking sleep on Panama is good.
We have not beaten them in 4 matches.
But for some reason, we walk in there like we're the big dick in the room.
No, man. We need to get back
and
to
and as you pointed,
like, you know.
Well, and that goes
pull yourself up by your bootstraps, man. Right. Elbows up.
And I'm not gonna like as you put on like. Poch is figuring it out. Correct. But at the same time, like, if you're given the captain's band, if you're Christian Pulisic and you're given the captain's band, other than, and again, you're a striker.
Yeah.
So you're not a field general.
Where did he play against Canada?
I mean, he was on one of the wings,
okay,
right?
Thank you. That's where he needed to be. That's where he was against Panama. I was just making sure.
If you're a forward and you're wearing that captain's band, your main thing is motivation.
Correct.
Because you're not a field general.
Or, you're, and by that is you're getting back on defense.
Yeah.
Like you're showing hustle,
right,
loyalty, and respect. Sorry, that was
I know, yeah. But I mean, I would say like to flip it, and we will talk about it, but on many occasions, Donnarumma wears the captain's armband.
Yeah. Now.
And again, that dude, as we saw, does not shy away from the fact of calling out his own players if they're fucking up.
And a keeper should. Thank you for that. I love that he has the scar. My favorite thing about Donnarumma being captain is you need a captain on the pitch, like the one person who's supposed to talk to the official, not everybody. So Barella plays, goes to like the coin toss and does everything because he's the on-field captain, even though he's not wearing. Just wanted to throw that out there. It's fucking hilarious.
And that's and to that point of like say in the backfield, other than Tyler Adams or somebody like that.
Did he play? I don't think he was on. Got called up this time. I know you were just making a point. But
No. But I mean, I think he was in the Panama game. He may not have been in the Canadian, or he was either in the Canadian game and he went in the Panama game. But even then, it's like you need somebody who is willing to look Christian Pulisic in the eye and go, fucking man up.
Well, and I'm not going to take... Go ahead.
So overall, my thing is that, and of course it is one of the most American things in the world, is that if you tell a group of people you're the golden generation, they become divas.
Talk to Belgium.
Right.
Or the Netherlands.
Yeah.
I can go down a list of teams. Croatia had a golden generation, but they were in finals galore. Just
Yeah, they were
bad
in the
luck.
World Cup final.
And then immediately in the deep into the Euros,
yeah.
and then deep into the next
Least
World
World
Cup.
Cup, yeah.
Final four in the next World
Yeah.
Cup. Right, that's reaching your potential.
I mean, Netherlands has had like 4 golden generations
And
in a
hasn't
row.
won a World Cup.
Yeah, but they go far. Like,
Well, they missed the World Cup with Italy last time,
yeah.
but they were young. So speaking of Italy,
Well, summary real quick. U.S. men's team. The problem is with the players. The players got to get
correct.
their
I'm
minds
not going
right.
to shit on Pulisic because he is killing it in Milan, and even
I don't think he's captain material though. I mean, not in that way of.
I think McKinney should be the captain, but I'm biased.
I was going to say that
But
too.
he plays in the middle of the pitch
Yeah.
too. So, and you know,
And
he's
McKinney's been around long enough.
Yeah,
He
it's
could
just-
look any one of those motherfuckers. He's been in Europe longer than any of the other Americans.
other than Pulisic, but I think he wasn't really playing at Chelsea.
Yeah, exactly.
So when he was in Germany, he was. But
McKinney's been wearing the stripes longer than anybody.
correct,
Yeah.
scoring Champions League goals,
Yeah.
bangers.
Yeah, he has more experience internationally than everybody.
On the team currently, probably.
Yeah.
And now Timothy Weah's got. People forget that his dad won the Ballon d'Or.
That's right, yeah.
All right, I'm just going to throw that out there.
Yeah.
So yeah, Italy in the most
2
Italy
plus
thing.
minutes, yeah.
Played Germany home and away Thursday, Sunday. Lost to Milan 2-1. Looked like shit in the first half. Or maybe it's vice versa. Looked really
You're
good.
kind of skipping over the big news, though.
Which is what? That Juventus has a new coach?
Yeah.
Yeah, well.
Oh, I'm sorry. You were talking about Italy. I'm sorry.
No. I'm going to talk about it all real quick. So, at any rate, 2 games, home and away against Germany. We lose the first one 2-1. We go 3 down in the second match in Dortmund, only to come back and draw and then still lose them 1 goal difference. You know, and they gave up a
But that's like the most
I-
Italian thing ever.
well, right, to give up a goal that like a U16 would give up. You know, like a bunch of 5-year-olds who don't understand the game of football.
I will say this, though. That also does speak to the commanding presence of Donnarumma. Is
Right,
that if
when
he starts...
stood up, everybody went,
Yeah, and they weren't paying attention to
anything that was going on. Yeah. So here we go, real quick. Juventus fired their manager.
Yeah.
Thiago Motta, I love you. You were a great warrior for the national team and for PSG. You weren't up for the job. He had a couple of good seasons at Bologna. Great.
He's also in... I mean, he was managing in a weird time, too.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
So we hired
they're doing a
Croatian.
reset, and like, ownership is still in the...
Yeah,
you know.
because we the Agnelli family, he just needs to buy out his fucking partner.
Right, yeah.
Just start over.
Yeah.
Just buy that fucking partner out.
Go back to the original arrangement.
It's been like that for years.
Yeah.
You know, since 1897 to be exact.
They made a documentary on HBO about it.
Correct. He owned Fiat, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Look him up, kids.
They still do.
They do. He
Yeah.
only got rid of him because of all of the fake fucking... the witch hunts. I'm okay with it. We'll see.
Well, you know what this means, though.
That's sad.
You now have a vacancy for other people to come in, particularly a bald
Unless
genius.
Luka, I can't remember his first name. He's Croatian, by the way, our
Yeah.
manager. And he played for Juventus forever. He's got history, and he's a good manager.
That's good, yeah.
Tudor.
Yeah.
Tudor. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So he's a good manager. He's good. He'll be a good steward for the club.
The following segment has been brought to you by The Goddamn Sauce. Go to thegdsauce.com for details to order all the sauces to replace your ordinary condiments. The Sports Ball Podcast is a production of Pulpery Media, produced and edited by Ben Grimion, marketing by Brock Ryder, graphic design by Beck Ryder and Ben Grimion, Music by the Heisenberg Compensators.